seat.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello, it's nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Well, let's talk about Stranger Things.
Why not?
I I'm shocked, and I don't know if you are, that it has become just as big as it has. Did you have any idea when you sat down about 3 or 4 years ago and read the script?
No. I mean, yeah, for it to become a phenomenon like it is crazy. I mean, originally, I knew it was going to be a Netflix show,
Yeah.
and at the time, I hadn't done anything of that kind of size. And Netflix had these kind of good quality shows out, but I don't think they'd had anything as big at the time. So to begin with, you're just very happy to be cast in something. You're like, oh yeah, I've got a job.
Yeah.
And then to be cast in the Netflix show. But no, I mean, we shot the first season, and I remember me, Natalia, and Joe, we all became, really close. And at the end, we finished, and I remember saying goodbye to them and wondering if we'll ever see each other again. It was like, well, we don't know, maybe see you again, or maybe
It's been
not.
a few full months. I might never see you again.
Exactly, so...
And then August 2016,
Yes,
it was like bank holiday weekend.
yes.
I remember, there's a new Winona Ryder show. It's set in the 80s. I put episode 1 on, and then like 3 hours later, I'm still going. And I know a lot of you guys are going to agree with me. It just grabbed you. Like, did you feel when you were making it that it was going to like have such an emotional impact on people? Because the family aspect of things
Yeah.
is...
I mean, it came from the writing, and the Duffer Brothers are the show creators who write and direct. And, reading these scripts were like, wow. I mean, first, obviously the world and what they wanted to do with it, and then kind of this nostalgic love letter to these 80s classics. But really, it was just the character writing. I think they're really good at writing real emotional people who you can connect with. So if you're connecting with people, and I think the biggest surprise with the show was the generational aspect. Like, people who are kids like it, teenagers like it, and then you've got adults who are like, wow, it reminds me of being a kid. So just having this huge kind of worldwide, range of people who've kind of connected with the show is, yeah, it's kind of unreal.
The generational thing, and looking out at the faces here.
Yeah.
There's people who can relate to every... Like, I'm watching it, and I'm seeing myself riding BMXs when I was, like, 10. And then I'm seeing myself being a moody teenager taking photographs.
Yeah.
And then I'm 34 with 2 kids now, and I'm fat. And I'm can relate with Hopper. It's just everything.
It really does have something for it.
Can I talk about the brother relationship you've got with Will?
Yeah.
Did you guys have to work together in real life? Did you spend a lot of time bonding, or...?
It was interesting because, they brought in Noah for season 1, and obviously he goes missing. So he really wasn't in the first season that much.
True.
We have that one scene where we're listening to Should I Stay or Should I Go by The Clash. And that was the first scene we'd ever shot together. And obviously going back, I think Noah's the youngest at the time. So he must have been 10 or 11. And yeah, but... I actually remember when they brought me in to screen test in LA, I had to screen test with Natalia, but they had like photos of these kids and who they were kind of thinking of casting. And I think they'd already cast Noah, if I remember, because I remember the brothers like showing me this photo and being like, we're so excited because look how much you look like each other. And I was like, oh, wow. But yeah, the chemistry... I think between our family, between Winona, me, and Noah, I mean, all the cast, the chemistry is great, but we really, I think we feel very much like a family. And
it comes across on screen. I
Yeah.
think it ruins Should I Stay or Should I Go for me. I can't listen to it.
I
Does
know
anyone
what you
else
mean.
feel the same? Like, that's a punk song, man. That's a punk song. I'm listening to it now, and I'm like, you should stay. You really shouldn't go.
Yeah. I think they were tossing between 2 songs at the time, and I think they were either going to go with Should I Stay or Should I Go, and at one point they were talking about going with Break On Through to the Other Side by The Doors. So they were gonna, but that's so on the nose,
Yeah,
So they were
literally
like,
on the other side.
We'll go with the other one, yeah.
Oh, man. These little tidbits I like to... you're never
Yeah.
going to find out anywhere else.
There you go.
Winona Ryder was an icon in the 80s. I grew up idolizing Winona Ryder. I'm a bit older than you. You probably came across her later on, or did you grow up knowing her movies?
I mean, Beetlejuice was definitely a film in my household. Yeah, my oldest sister loved Beetlejuice and just used to watch it all the time. So I knew her from that. And, obviously Winona Ryder's huge, but I was slightly after the generation of, that age. But then, yeah, kind of after working with her, watching Heathers and The Crucible and stuff.
Heathers.
Amazing.
Amazing.
And they probably don't make films like that anymore. It's such a cool cult film.
It is. Has everyone seen Heathers? Yeah, it's dark.
Very dark, very dark.
What was it like, I suppose, just being around that just like familiar, like the Duffer Brothers who created and write it, their brothers, obviously you guys all had to be a family. Did you just enjoy working on it? Is it a nice set to be on?
It is a family in all sense of the words. Like now, we know we come back and we know we do it every season, so we have a year off. And it's like coming back to your family, and it really has become that. But it started like that. The first scene that I ever shot was the scene where I'm cooking breakfast, and when, Joyce comes in and she's like, "Where's Will?" And I'm like, I don't know. And that day, that was my first day on set, and to walk into the Byers house and have these brothers and have Winona. She like came up to me and was like, just gave me a massive hug. Day one, and it felt, I don't want to say I knew it. No one knew it was going to be as big as it was, but it felt really special. And I think that's when you're making something, you obviously you want everything you do people to respond and receive, but it does really feel like a special.
Feel the electricity.
You do, and the excitement. You know, I mean, even the crew. I mean, it's long hours, 12 hours every day. For 8 months of work, and like to do that, you really have to love it. And like you have the crew who can sustain this and do it because they're excited to be on it as well. So
the other thing I wanted to ask was, you're from Yorkshire,
yeah,
and your American accent is bang on the money.
Yeah.
How did the lad from Yorkshire end up being in America's biggest TV show?
I'm still trying to work that out. I have no idea.
Tony, who's doing our crowd mics, is a Yorkshireman himself.
Hey.
And because obviously, you fine American accent, Tony went, "Where's he from?" I went, "Bridlington." He was like, "Yes." There's always a sense of pride when someone from Britain does so well.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I think growing up as a kid, and and I think this is a great thing for kids who want to get into things. For me to be in Bridlington, and if you'd have told me when I was 12 living in Bridlington that I would be where I am today, or be in a show, or even be an actor, wouldn't be possible. I didn't think it would ever be possible. But I just kept. I don't know. I kept trying. I knew I wanted to do something. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know if I wanted to do music. I didn't know if to do acting, but I just kept persisting and, kept kind of challenging myself and putting myself out there, I guess. But like you say, I did not dream it ever to be possible. So, I think for me, it's like when I meet lots of young people, they ask me, I want to be an actor, and it's how do I do it? And I think you've just got to, just do whatever you can. I mean, like if it's a small play, if it's a tiny film, it's a film for your friend, and just do
what you love.
Do what you love, and if you love doing it, then you'll be happy.
It's an amazing answer. I'm going to turn it over to questions from the audience in a minute, because look at those hands going up. I haven't even asked you to put your hands up yet. And then Tony's going to come and find you. We'll take some questions. But while Tony's finding you, I want to talk about New Mutants.
Yeah, sure.
Where's New Mutants?
I don't know. No, it's coming out next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we filmed it obviously 2 years ago, and the release date's been moved quite a while. And if you don't know, New Mutants is it's like an X-Men spin-off. So it's an X-Men. It was a comic. Bill Sienkiewicz did it, and it was an '80s comic. And it's basically like a separate branch of mutants. And we shot this a while back, and it's been pushed because Fox has now merged with Disney. So that kind of whole world took a long time to get created.
'Cause
But
if you haven't seen it, they dropped the trailer about 2 years ago,
yeah,
and the trailer is awesome.
thank you.
I
Yeah.
was it's the kid from Stranger Things.
Yeah, yeah, no, it was good. It's a horror film. If I could kind of mash it up, I'd say it's an X-Men movie kind of mixed in with. It's very like Nightmare on Elm Street and kind of the Winona Ryder movie where she's in the mental hospital.
Gale Interrupted.
Hey, I can't even.
What? Gale Interrupted, yeah.
Yeah, Gal Interrupted. Yeah, it's kind of like a mixture of all those and X-Men, and it's pretty scary and quite damaged. So, we'll see. I'm excited.
Let's take our first question.
Hi, I'm
Hello.
Ruby. I met you yesterday.
Good?
The question that I'm going to ask is, do you know the music that you were in, like in the show, like the Clash and stuff? Were you actually into that in like real life? Is that like the music you're in, or did you have to like learn some of the songs for the show?
No, funnily enough, when I first got the role, I had to Skype with the directors, and I used to play in bands and music, so I kind of grew up, you know, in that kind of music, well, with a similar taste, and they asked me a lot about my influence, so, I mean, you're quite, you know, I don't know if you'll know, but I was, like, into bands like The Cure and Joy Division, and, like, the Brian Jonestown Massacre, so it wasn't like I had to be like, wow, I've never heard this in my life. So, no, I kind of knew the music element of it a little bit.
Before we go on to the next one, the soundtrack for Stranger Things, not only the score, the soundtrack's wild.
It's amazing. That's
Yeah.
a band called Survive, and I believe the brothers just found them online and were like, "Can you guys do the score?"
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
It's incredible. Yeah.
It's the most unhummable theme tune I've ever seen. I try and sing it every episode. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
How has the success and popularity of Stranger Things impacted on your life? So I know you said you didn't know it was going to take off as much as it did, but how has it impacted on you?
Yeah. I mean, it's changed my life. You know, it's a little more difficult to just walk down the street and get a coffee without people shouting Stranger Things at you. But you know, it's one of those things that like I was trying to say, it's like you're so grateful that people respond to it as a show and as a character and your work, and it's so humbling, and then you know, can be overwhelming sometimes. At times you're like, what's going on? But you know, I really like my life. Yeah, I don't know.
Have you stolen any items of wardrobe? Because there's so much 80s coolness. I'm specifically thinking Hopper's shirts.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you've made you wear and gone, here's a nice pair of 1980s Reeboks or something, and you've thought, I'm having them?
I think, no, but the first season, the Converse that I wear were actually my Converse. Because I came in with like these beat up Converse that I'd had, and she was like, how old are they? I was like, oh, they're only 8 months. She was like, oh, they look really vintage. I think they had like rips in the side. So I donated my own shoes to season 1.
That's the opposite of what we normally hear.
Yeah, no. I mean, they're very protective because they're like, well, we might use it again. So,
Yeah. Well,
but they did give me my camera, the Pentax camera. They sent it to me a month before I started filming. And I'd never worked with film cameras, so they were like, you know, get used to it, get used to loading it and shooting. And it was really interesting because just to kind of work with, film camera and have like every shot counts. So I was shooting this little independent and I got sent this camera. I was like, okay, great. I'm gonna spend the next month and I'm gonna take all these beautiful photos. So I spent a month and it was like fall. It was autumn. So I spent a month taking all these photos, thinking I was taking the most beautiful photos. And then when it turns out I'd never loaded it properly. So I didn't actually take a single photo.
I can't even think of the last time I saw a film camera
Yeah.
in the wild. Is our next question.
Hello.
Hi.
Sorry, ranting on. Sorry.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Erin.
Hi, Erin.
I was wondering, what is your favourite season of Stranger Things?
I personally, the first season for me,
Yeah.
just it was. I mean, I guess the freshness of it, but it feels the most grounded to me. I mean, obviously every
Yeah.
season we've got so much bigger and bigger, and this season felt like an 8-hour blockbuster. And but the first season felt really contained, and you're introduced to all these new characters who no one's ever met before. So, and I just like the storylines in the first season. I think they're so
Yeah.
delicately written.
Oh,
So-
I was just going to ask one more.
Go on.
Is Hopper alive?
Everyone.
Spoilers.
I know, spoilers.
All right, I was just
I mean, this is. Everyone always thinks you're lying when you say this. I don't know. And I don't know because I haven't read a single episode
Yeah.
of the new season. So
No one knows.
nobody knows. We'll see. I don't know.
What's your favorite 80s movie?
I used to, when I was a kid, really weird. I used to really like Poltergeist 2.
Poltergeist 2.
Poltergeist 2, when my sister Levi used to always watch it. And I must have been so young. I must have been about 7. Something really young.
And just Poltergeist
And
2.
we used to watch that a lot. And Flight of the Navigator. Do you remember that?
Flight of the Navigator. That's a blast from the past.
I used to like that. That it was the creature, with the eye, Yeah, Flight of the Navigator.
Oh, Tony's found a piece of the map. Hello.
Hi, Charlie.
Where are we?
Hi.
Oh, hello.
Hello. I'm just wondering if you were given the scripts to Stranger Things and New Mutants at the same time, which one would you have picked?
That's a more journalistic question than anything I've come up with.
Yeah, it is. Would I know? I mean, are we talking like just the script, not knowing which one would do either or? It would have to. This is a terrible question. I'm sorry, Fox, but it would have to be Stranger Things. Yeah.
Where's Tony's at the back? Hello.
Hello,
Hi.
my name's Layla. And my name's Will.
Hi, Layla and Will.
If you could be a different Stranger Things character, what character would you be? Same.
Good. It's good. It's good. I think I'd be Hopper. I mean, he's my favorite character.
Yeah.
But I would have to put on a lot of weight and age a bit.
I could do that, no problem. I just trim the beard down.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
I think I could do Fat Hopper.
Yeah, I reckon. Have you ever done a cosplay?
I'm getting an idea for one now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it'd be
Encouraging me, man. We've got a question near the front.
Thank you so much.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Offset, who is your best friend out of the cast of Stranger Things?
Who's my best friend? The people I'm closest with, my best friend, yeah, Natalia and Joe. Joe, me, Natalia, and Joe, because we're all the same age, and
He's got some tremendous hair.
yeah, he's got amazing hair.
He has.
It's annoying. You have someone who has that good hair. But I feel sorry for him because he's always like, I think he's like so frustrated about people constantly talking about his hair.
Yeah, when you're playing an 80s bad guy with 80s bad guy hair,
Yeah.
is he going to be hair cast, like instead of typecast? Is he going to have to retain the bouffant? Sorry, I've got another question. I'm talking about hairspray.
Hello, Charlie. I met you earlier today. Your name's Craig. All right.
Sorry?
My question is, do you want to hear my theory about Billy?
Yeah, what? I mean,
Absolutely.
sure.
Well, remember in season 2, after when Will was freed by the mind flare and it escaped into the world, and then it was trapped after the gate closed, and then it reawoken when the gate opened again in season 3? Well, the part of the mind flare that was in Billy, was still in him when Billy died. So maybe when the gate, if it reopens in season 4, then it just might reawaken the mind flare, and then just might bring Billy back to life, and then they'll have to burn it out of him. And then just with a bit of hope, Billy might come back. Am I right?
I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think someone likes Billy.
I know. You should get on the writer's room. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah.
So while Tony's putting his 10,000 steps in, were you a comic book fan before you were approached for New Mutants, or was it something you had to read to research?
I got sent all the comics. I mean, no, I had Beano growing up.
I had Beano.
Yeah, but no, I wasn't that big of a comic book fan. What attracted me to mutants, and I think X-Men, which is kind of the cool thing about them, is, you know, there are these people who are actually, you know, you could take away, relatively, you could maybe take away the powers and they still kind of have problems. Yeah. It's all about kind of having, you know, having, like, being looked upon by society as being different and kind of almost, having like a you know, I just like sorry, I'm trying to get my words out, but it's like the human aspect of what it is, kind of, interested me.
The human of the superhuman?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I heard you name drop Bill Sienkiewicz, and I was like, oh, is he a nerd?
I met him. I got to meet, that was he came to set one day, and he gave us his book, but he drew us all, which
That's
was just
amazing.
like, what
his
an honor.
artwork is unbelievable.
Incredible.
Next question, please.
Hi. What was the hardest scene for you to film and why?
Ever, like in the
show.
In the show, 3 seasons. The hardest. I mean, there's different reasons for something to be hard on a set. You know, I think, you know, like sometimes it's just like it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, and it's like freezing cold, and you're in the woods trying to pull somebody out of a tree, and you're covered in goo, and it's cold. You know, they can be physically demanding, but the hardest thing, probably. I mean, but you know, sometimes you got to pretend to be throwing fireworks at a huge monster, and all they're using is a beach ball on a stick. And they're like, okay, it's kind of going to do this, and you kind of got to make up this like idea in your head of what you think is going to happen, and so there's like different challenges in different parts, and you know, but generally, I think what's really nice about shooting this is we keep it really lighthearted on the set, and it never feels like there's that much pressure. And like obviously the show's got so much bigger and bigger, and the expectations got bigger. You'd think, well, every year it would feel harder to shoot, but they just keep it so light and fun, and kind of you feel like you're very trusted and you can't go wrong.
Got a question? Hello, sir.
Hello. Hi, Charlie.
Hey.
Are you okay? A really in-depth question for you, please. I was devastated at the death of Alexei. So, what was... do strawberry and cherry Slurpee actually taste the same?
That's in-depth.
That is in-depth. I don't think I've ever had a cherry or a strawberry Slurpee in my life.
I'm a blue raspberry guy myself.
Have you?
I like blue raspberry.
I don't know. I'd say no. I don't think I've ever had I mean, I've had a slushie. We had slushy, same thing. I don't know.
Go the newsagents for a slush.
Good one, though.
As British as it gets.
We've
got another question.
Hi, I'm Christina.
Hi, Christina.
What was your favourite scene to film and why?
Favourite scene? I think one of my best memories, and that we had the most fun with, was at the end of season 1, when the Demogorgon comes for me and Nancy, and then Steve comes in and he kind of rescues us, because it was just this whole day of like rehearsing, and that season the guy who played the Demogorgon was this guy called Mark, and he was in a suit and he had these like fans, and you know, it was very physical, but there was just something, like, we spent 4 days filming that, and it was just me, Joe, Natalia, and really, really fun, just fun memories. And watching Joe just beat up Mark with a bat for like 2 days. I don't know, it's funny.
Oh, sorry, Tony's near. Oh, there you go.
I remember seeing the dog in season 1, but whatever happened to your dog?
Chester. That's a good question.
That is, I completely forgot they had a
great
dog.
question. I think he, you know, went to doggy heaven.
They took him to the farm to play with all the other dogs.
What it really was he just was really hard to work with. Yeah.
Never work with children or animals. They already had children.
Yeah.
Get rid of the animals. Next question. Hello.
I think Winona found him really hard to work with. He just, yeah. So it was like, let's get rid of the dog. But well spotted.
Hello.
Hi, my name's Eva, and are you and Natalia still dating?
On the show?
Our characters?
Oh.
Or in real life?
Yeah.
You know.
We're just, oh, come on. We're going to, let's just be, we can't grill them. That's not fair. I'm sorry.
No, don't worry. Yeah, we're very close.
Moving swiftly on.
I thought that was going to be a question about your favourite issue in New Mutants.
No, it's okay. We're like best friends. Sure.
Yeah. Gentleman with the sunglasses and the leather jackets. Hello, sir.
All right. What was your favourite stunt in the whole of Stranger Things?
Favorite stunt? I mean, it wasn't necessarily a stunt that I was doing, but one of the cool stunts that came to mind was this year in the cabin when 11 gets ripped up, and we're all trying to pull her down. She was like on this really cool wire rig, and she was actually hanging upside down, and we had to like fight off and pull her off. I don't know. That was fun just to watch Millie be on a harness all day. And then probably that one, I think. Yeah.
We've got a couple of minutes left.
Yep.
So I think we're going to take one more question.
Hello again.
Hi.
Any embarrassing stories from the set?
How do you mean embarrassing?
Like anything that's happened that's embarrassed you on the set?
Anything that's embarrassed me? Joe likes to play tricks on me all the time. I don't know how embarrassing this is, but I just remember one day walking into my trailer and Joe had cut up tomato pieces, loads and loads of tomato pieces, and just put them all over my trailer. So I had like one on top of my phone, and I had like loads of tomatoes on my table, and I just ran out of my trailer and went, I was just like, why is the tomatoes in my trailer? And nobody knew what the hell I was talking about. I don't know. It was quite embarrassing.
That's a really specific prank to play on someone.
Yeah, he's like that. He's funny.
We got a question. Is it? Hello.
Hey.
What was the saddest death in Stranger Things?
Heavy hitting questions.
That's a good question. Well, you know, I guess we have to. If Hopper's dead, then that's going to be pretty sad. I would be sad. But I'd say to lose Bob, I think. Just because Sean Astin's I just love Sean Astin. I think he's a great guy, but also he's such a nice guy who didn't deserve to die. So.
I was shocked when they offed Bob.
Yeah.
Sean Astin's a goonie. He shouldn't go out like that.
No, I know. No, I think, Bob was the most emotional, kind of heart-wrenching death. Unless, People were really upset about Bob, though, first season. We were like, wow. I don't think we were expecting... There was like this Justice for Bob campaign.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It was crazy. I don't think anyone expected her to be so... Like, even the brothers were like, we didn't think, like... I mean, they put a whole redemption in. They were like, we got to do something.
It was wild the way she went out, though. It was like unexpectedly... And she was so sweet.
She was.
And on that really depressing note about Justice for Bob, I think we've run out of time, Charlie. It's been an absolute pleasure getting to talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for a great interview. Guys, please give us a massive round of applause
Thank you
for
all
the one and only Charlie Heaton.
Thank you.